Are you fascinated by the paranormal and want to hear about encounters that have happened to real-life people in real-life places? Do you need a drink to calm those nerves after hearing some scary stories?
You're listening to Booze and Bourbon.
Well, we invite you to grab a drink, whether it's a coffee or something with a little bit more spirit in it. Grab a blanket, snuggle in, because I'm Kim and that's Jen, and we're Booze and Bourbon.
Merry Festivus, everyone.
It's the Festivus for the rest of us.
I'm really in the spirit, so I just had to, acknowledge that.
Thank you so much,
Well,
Jen.
welcome.
Thanks for welcoming me. And oh, you were welcoming our guests.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, but you as well.
Welcome, guys. You're here for another tasty treat by Booze and Bourbon. Jen, how the heck have you been?
Well, basically, I'm not really prepared gift-wise yet.
Oh, I gotcha.
So I was a little stressed out trying to figure out who I needed to buy for and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've been doing a lot of shopping online this year.
It is definitely the way to go.
It is.
You don't have to move.
Nope. You don't have to stand in lineups.
No. You skip all that. And you can just, have a drink and sit on your couch and, get all of your Christmas shopping done.
True. I have also been, so it's been like the best of both worlds, I would say, because I've been shopping local. There's a lot of really great Christmas sales and Christmas things going on here in Mahone Bay and Chester. So I've been getting some good deals on some really cute local things, plus online. Today's episode is very
Helpful.
and educational.
Educational, yes.
Yeah, so this is our Christmas gift to you. So from Jen and Kim at Booze and Bourbon, we want to be able to tell you if you're haunted.
Dun, dun, dun.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you can tell, it's just a quick little list of
Yeah, what you'd feel, what you might smell,
see.
and how to get rid of said haunting.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's also very great because I feel like I'm getting a Christmas present today because Jen brought over some Woodford Reserve limited cherry wood smoked barley bourbon.
Let me tell you, it is a treat.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm very excited to get into it. I'm ready for this bourbon.
I can smell it, and it's not even close to my face. That's how delicious it smells.
It is very cherry-y and good. So here we have in front of us the 12th release of the Masters Collection series from Woodford Reserve. The malted barley used in this mash for this particular expression was dried using the smoke from burning cherry wood. Not only that, while most American bourbons contain around 10 to 15% malted barley, this one actually contains an impressive 30%. The liquid boasts a wonderfully rich copper color and comes presented in a rather regal bottle. I would have to agree with that.
Yes. This little...
Nice little red booklet with some golden lettering and telling you how fantastic it is. Oh, I'm smelling some definite brown sugar.
Dark chocolate.
I smell some spices, but it's pretty subdued. Heavy, cinnamon, clove, nothing like that.
No. But if you've ever had homemade cherry jam.
I don't think I have.
My mom makes a lot of jam. My grandmother used to. And it does have that smell when you first make it and you jar it.
Nice. Okay. Well, I'm going to take a sip.
You just let that swish around there for a sec.
That's delicious. What's the percentage?
We're at, 90.4 proof.
Nice.
Yes.
Well, that's pretty good. There's definitely some kick to it.
Selected by Chris Morris. Thank you, Chris.
Yes, thank you very much, Chris. So I'm definitely tasting cherry and definitely tasting the sweetness of some brown sugar, but I'm also getting some smokiness.
Smoked almond, per se.
Nice. Yeah. I can tell that you've loved this bottle a bit.
I do, actually. It was a great addition to my small collection at home.
Yeah. No, it's a good one.
And I'm trying to savor it, so I try to leave it for when I'm really in the mood. And, I don't want to waste it.
It's a celebration.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. So I think it has a pretty long finish. And I keep getting smoky kind of flavors on the insides of my cheeks.
And the bourbon pocket is most definitely warm as well.
No, it's very good. Definitely like it. I like a lot of Woodford Reserve bourbons, but this is probably the top of the list. Thank you for being a friend, and thank you for bringing this bottle of bourbon.
NSLC, thank you for also bringing this in, because you guys can all get it there. I mean, those of us in Canada, Nova Scotia.
Now is about time for a lovely game.
Would you rather?
Okay, so would you rather play Would You Rather with me, or would you rather play a new game that I might have bought you for Christmas and it'll be an early Christmas present?
Oh, man. I love new presents. New games.
Do you want me to get it for you?
Okay.
Okay, hang tight. So typically this is played with a number of people, but given our circumstance, I think you can just ask me a card and I can give you an answer.
Okay.
All right, Jen.
Yeah.
You're going to have to tell me 2 things that you wish lasted a long time.
Oh, dear. That I wish lasted a long time. That time that I met George St. Pierre and I touched his ass.
Oh, nice.
I wish that that lasted longer. Mm-hmm. And it's a toss-up, really, but no, this is PG-13, and I'm not even gonna say what I was gonna say, because it was very offside.
Uh-huh.
But, you know, if we're going to go with the lighter version, maybe just like the dream I had of Channing Tatum
Oh, wow.
and me being the star in Magic Mike. I wish that dream lasted a lot longer as well.
I can't blame you. Those are 2 good things.
Yeah. Okay. 2 things that are hard to measure. Your love for me.
Actually, that's what I was going to say. How much I love you, Jen. It's hard to measure. And also hard to measure how deep the original money pit on Oak Island actually goes.
That was a good one.
Thanks.
That was a good one.
Thanks.
Okay.
All right. Well, I hope you have lots of fun with that game. I'm
Yes.
sure you're going to, in a group setting, it's going to be even better.
Yes.
But I thought,
Thank you for the early Christmas gift.
'tis the season of giving. All right.
Yes.
So, guys, just after the break, we're going to get into today's main topic, which is telling you all about what you should do and how you can figure out if you are haunted. Stay tuned.
Hello, and welcome back to Booze and Bourbon. We are here with the Christmas Helpful Special, where we are going to tell you how you can tell if you're haunted.
I love how your accent started out strong and then it ombreed back into your English accent. Thank you for that.
Yes.
I loved it. So, guys, what feelings would you have if you were in a said haunted property? You'd probably have feelings of being watched on or spied on. You'd have feelings of someone standing close behind you, feelings of being touched by unseen hands, feelings of the hair on the back of your neck standing up, feelings of cobwebs on your face or body. P.S. That happens all the time.
Oh, that's my worst.
Feeling a cold breeze as if someone has walked past you, or a dark, depressing feeling, especially in one particular location.
Yeah. I think we both have encountered many of these.
Yeah, definitely at Waverly Hills. Definitely.
I covered 90% of those, I think. Yeah. The dark, depressing feeling I only get after Christmas at the bank machine, but I mean,
I don't think the bank machine's haunted. It's just your bank account.
yeah. So, what are the signs that a building is haunted? Well, you could have the lights turning on and off, or up and down, or on their own. Light bulbs blowing frequently. Sounds of items being dropped, but when you go to investigate, there's nothing there. Seeing unexplained shadows from the corner of your eye. Strange behavior from pets in the property. Example, your dog's barking, your spot dog or the boxer dog that we talked about previously. Mm-hmm. Or growling at something that you cannot see, like my dog did. Cats staring in a particular area as if they can see someone. Hearing voices of people, whispers, or someone calling your name. Seeing twinkling lights, mists, or unexplained moving shapes. Sudden temperature drops, especially in one area of the property.
Okay, so in more detail, here are some things to look out for. The first one on the list is unusual scents or smells. We actually got a listener story for this one. It says, on Monday morning, December 2nd, I went out to my driveway to start my car before leaving for work. As I came back up to my front porch, I smelled a very strong men's cologne of what seemed to be reminiscent of what an older gentleman would wear. Interestingly, I have smelled this before, and so has my girlfriend. I know it wasn't me simply because I was wearing something totally different. Also, I have been awakened many times with the overwhelming scent of a men's body wash, specifically Old Spice Swagger. That is very specific. Again, I don't use this, so it couldn't be from my shower. When I told my girlfriend about this, she said that someone she used to be with, who had actually passed away, always used this scent. Over my years growing up, I have had many encounters similar to these, and I am just curious if there are others out there experiencing the same thing. From Jamie Reynolds in Hampton, Tennessee. Jamie, thank you so much for emailing this to us, because him and I were actually having a bit of a conversation, and I was telling him some of the things that you've had happen to you, and I was telling him some things that I've had happen to me. So as we're going to get into those a little bit later, we're going to give Jamie some information on these paranormal scents.
Yes.
One of the most common ways to identify the presence of a ghost is through scent. Ghostly smells will usually be somewhat familiar, such as perfume, cologne, or the distinctive aroma of tobacco from a cigar. Sometimes, however, these scents are a bit less pleasant. The smell of sulfur has also been connected to hauntings. Unfortunately, investigating paranormal smells is difficult. There are no easily available cheap instruments to detect or measure them. In almost all cases, investigators must rely on their own sense of smell and reports from witnesses. This is difficult when people vary a lot in their perception of smell. These factors alone may be responsible for some reports of apparently paranormal smells. If one person persistently reports a smell that others can't detect because their sense of smell is particularly sensitive, it may give the impression of being a paranormal phenomenon. It seems that sniffing out the source may not be easy, especially if it's coming from another dimension.
So to elaborate on my own story, when my grandmother passed away, I guess that would have been almost 10 years ago. She actually was in mid-smoke, we'll say. She was smoking a cigarette because she smoked a lot. So when we actually found her, the cigarette was still lit in the ashtray. So that was something that like I always remembered, and so did my cousin because she was there as well.
That's crazy.
So fast forward after she had passed away, I think it was like 3 or 4 months after that, I had gotten a new apartment down by the waterfront there.
Yeah.
And it was 100% like, well, I was the only person in the building at the time when I first moved in. So they actually had security downstairs because I was the only apartment in use.
That would be creepy because sometimes when I stay at a hotel when I'm far away from home, I know there aren't very many guests and I'm like, oh, I'm on this floor all by myself. That's not creepy at all.
Exactly. Same idea. So I was on the top floor by myself. At the time, though, I did have a roommate. So I woke up in the middle of the night to a very strong cigarette smell, like as if someone was literally sitting outside my bedroom, like smoking a cigarette. So I jumped out of bed and ran out into the hallway because no one smokes in my apartment, obviously. Like I don't, and I was pretty sure my roommate didn't. She hates smoke herself, so I just couldn't see that happening. So I thought there was somebody out there, like she had brought somebody with her. So I was pissed because I'm like, you guys can't smoke in here. Like, what the hell's happening?
Yeah.
But of course, I burst out of my bedroom into the hallway and realized her bedroom door's open and she hadn't even come home. So there was nobody in my apartment. And I literally walked out into the kitchen, walked back to my room, walked back out to the kitchen, and could not understand for the life of me. Like, all my windows were shut. I went out in the hallway. I couldn't smell it out in the hallway, like in the actual building itself. And there was just this, like, strong scent of cigarettes in my apartment. And I remember actually stopping and being like, Nanny? And then like looking around. And it was like within minutes of me saying that and almost addressing that I thought it was her, that the smell like just went away.
I wonder if it was her way of somehow like maybe she knew that she couldn't make herself seen to you. So she was like, oh, she would recognize the scent.
Yeah.
So she wouldn't feel alone being in this building all by herself. Right. And so I'm just here to be with her and look over her and make sure she's cool.
McDonald's Select. I'll never forget the scent of those. They have a very strong smell with a very long filter that I used to cut off when I would steal them off their cigarette pack.
That's a really cool story. I love it. And what's interesting is you've moved from that place.
Yes.
And I came over for a visit in your new house and went to your washroom, which is on the top floor. And when I came downstairs, I was like, Jen, by any chance was somebody smoking a cigarette in your bathroom? And you're like, no, why? I'm like, it smells like smoke in your bathroom. And you didn't have any candles or anything that would have been like recently lit. And you have a roommate, but I'm pretty confident she wasn't smoking in your bathroom like 10 minutes before you and I got there. So she wasn't even home.
No,
it was very strange. So,
and the enlightening part to that would be that when I did have a reading done by the angel lady who's located in Cole Harbor.
What's her name? Do you know?
I forget, but she just goes by the angel lady. I think that's what's on the card. She said your grandmother wants to tell you that she likes your yellow bathroom because she loves.
Are you serious?
Yeah. And I never even thought of that until you said bathroom, and I was like, that was like what the lady pointed out because
I can't take my hand off of you right now. This is freaking crazy.
She loved yellow, and she said your grandmother wants to acknowledge that she likes your yellow bathroom. And I was like thinking in my head, well, I didn't even paint it yellow. I bought it that way, but
I have tears in my eyes.
I know,
right now.
like I didn't realize that. I thought you meant just upstairs in my house, not like in the actual bathroom.
No, in your bathroom.
Oh. Well, that makes everything like extra special then. Like that's so weird that she said that.
Oh my God.
That is so weird.
Okay.
I love it.
Just need a moment
so
to
we just had a moment now. We're just having a moment.
Wow.
I did not realize that. I thought you meant upstairs, like not in the bathroom.
No, it was in the bathroom.
Oh my God.
Oh my God is right.
So
okay.
Nanny came to visit.
And Jamie, I think you're onto something with these scents because we just had some confirmation here. Okay, so the next thing on your list, if you're haunted, unexplained temperature changes. One of the easiest ways to tell if you're in the presence of a ghost is by paying attention to the temperature. As artfully depicted in the M. Night Shyamalan's 1999 classic, The Sixth Sense, characters would see their breath right before a dramatic paranormal activity occurred. Of course, this phenomenon was a bit dramatized for the film, as the temperature would likely not drop to below freezing in an instant. But most people associate ghosts with mysterious cold spots, cold drafts, or cold winds in a building or outdoors. One popular theory on the cause of these cold spots is that ghosts are a form of energy and need more energy to exist, so they pull that energy from the air around them in the form of heat. This, of course, if you stayed awake in science class, violates the energy balance known as the second law of thermodynamics. To get around this, you have to consider ghosts to be something not of this universe, allowing them to violate our universe laws. If you experience unpredictable shifts in temperature, this could mean that you are indeed in the presence of an otherworldly entity. Ever had any cold spots experiences other than, of course, Waverly Hills?
Yeah, definitely had a few.
Okay.
Yep.
I know I have two, but I just can't pinpoint what they are.
It's just more of the like cold behind. It was more of like cold and then like getting the goosebumps all at the same time and like almost getting it up, the feeling of somebody standing behind you as well.
Right. That makes sense.
Moving forward to strange technological glitches. Though it's not often that our paranormal friends slide into our DMs. Ghosts can definitely hit you up through technology. Have you picked up a ringing phone only to hear silence on the other line? Do your lights flicker periodically? Does your television suddenly turn off or switch channels on its own? These are classic clues that reveal a ghostly presence. Ghosts exist within another dimension, so our supernatural roommates need conduits in order to make contact. As depicted in Stranger Things, electricity is a great way for otherworldly beings to reveal their presence. I do love Stranger Things, by the way.
I do too.
Accordingly, if you are interested in communicating with a ghost, try setting up an audio or video recording device as a conductor, which can be used in real time to facilitate a dialogue.
Yeah, that's true.
And
So
we've done that. Well, we've tried that a few times anyway.
we
on
have.
our own as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I have a couple of really good stories. I'm not going to get into great detail due to the relationship that I have with the family members of this potential spirit. But shortly after his passing, there were a lot of strange things that happened in my house. So I had a loft upstairs, which was my living room, and on the main floor was my kitchen. And I remember coming home from work one day and hearing the TV on upstairs. And I was like, that's weird. TV was definitely off when I left the house. So I go upstairs, turn it off, and within 5 minutes, it was back on again. I'm like, okay, this is really, really strange. Within a very short time frame, I don't know how many minutes, could have been seconds, my coffee maker in the kitchen, which was a K-cup machine, just went off. Like it was pouring a full cup of coffee, and there was no coffee in it. There was no mug underneath of it. There was nothing. So it made a huge mess. And I was like, what is going on? In other strange instance with this one spirit, a house nearby would have the alarm clock go off in the middle of the night. And it would play this one single song, which was this person's favorite song while he was living. And it would come on like
spooky
anytime throughout the night. And there were like 3 times in a row where it came on just to that song.
That would be even creepier, I think.
It was crazy. It was crazy. But at the same time, it was like, okay, this is a good sign because it makes us feel like you're in a good place and you're like, you're happy and you just want to mess with us and let us know that you're still around.
I would like that. I mean, like if I pass away, I mean, you could be in the kitchen and all of a sudden like mystical back that ass up will come on and you'll be like.
I was thinking gin and juice, but that'll work.
I mean, yeah, or that. Like, Jen's here. She just wanted to say hi.
Thanks, Jen.
Yeah. I guess a story with, which I already talked about before, in the house that we were already talking about, where you had the bathroom situation.
Yeah.
That was more of a light issue. So my lights in my dining room would flicker on and off, or repeatedly just keep going on and off, which I had seen as well as my roommate.
And I've seen it too.
And yes, and you as well. So, and then you had the situation while we were at the graveyard that time.
Oh, yeah, but it was your phone.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
You had gotten a new phone.
Waiting. Yeah, I just got a new phone and we were like discussing, I think, something to do with the episode. And then Siri said, out of nowhere, that's not a good idea or something. It was like something along those lines. I can't remember.
We had gone to the RCAF Beaverbank radio abandoned station.
Yes.
And we were recording in the car. This was like when we very, very early on with Booze and Bourbon before we joined the ABV network. And it was Halloween and we were sitting in a graveyard where your grandparents are buried.
Yeah.
And we were recapping our investigation. And I was like, oh, yeah, that watershed. And we heard something in the woods. And your phone, which hadn't even been set up yet, Siri goes, that doesn't sound good. And I just looked at you and I'm like, oh, wait a second. That was your phone.
And we have that on recording, too, because we were taping us talking at the same time. So
yeah,
that was creepy.
Yeah, definitely. The next one's me, right? Okay. The next thing on the list is an object moving or unidentifiable sounds. Have you heard thumping on the stairs, watched doors swing open, or noticed photographs suddenly askew? Unexplained physical shifts in the environment is another easy way to identify a haunting. It's not often that ghosts build enough energy to actually interact with objects. After all, it's not easy breaking through otherworldly portals. Ghosts can pack this much of a punch are known as poltergeists, which quite literally means noisy ghost. Poltergeist hauntings are said to be the rarest as well as the most dramatic. These abrasive entities make their presence known in a very big way. Loud knocking sounds, rearranged furniture, or even mysterious flames have all been attributed to the presence of a poltergeist. If you're experiencing this phenomenon, you may want to take matters into your own hands. Hang clearing crystals in your doorways or windows. This sends a less aggressive message than burning sage and offers a calming energy that serves a paranormal olive branch. A little extension of that old olive branch.
So I will share a story that I don't think I shared before on here.
No.
I have 3 pictures kind of hanging in my stairwell going upstairs. And they all kind of say like verses, or I think I got them at Winners. You know, the ones that have like a bunch of words on them.
Yep.
And one night, me and my roommate, my current roommate, were watching TV. And I don't even really know what we were talking about before that, but I heard one of them fall. So I went upstairs and got it and was kind of weirded out why it even fell to begin with, because it's obviously been there for quite some time and there's no reason for it to fall off. So I hung it back up, came back downstairs, laid down literally for not even a second, and we both heard it fall again. So I'm like, okay. I go back up, and in my mind still thinking like, maybe I just didn't catch the hook properly, like those little jagged ones in the back.
Yeah.
Hang it back up, go back down, and this is only a matter of 5 stairs. And before I even got to the couch, it fell again. So then my roommate like squeals, and she's like, I don't want to be here with your ghostly people, your friends, and in here. And I'm like thinking, I do have a friend that passed away when she was quite young, and she would be the person to do things like this.
She would just want to mess with you.
Yes. So the weird thing was the picture that kept falling did say like something about friendship, and like it was one of those ones that like talks about your friends.
Yeah.
So I remember like being like actually saying her name out loud and being like, okay, we get it. You can stop now because this is getting annoying. I'm just trying to watch my show. And then I hung it back up and it didn't fall again. So.
Well, you had a good little talk with her.
Yeah.
You said enough's
She just
enough.
needed me to tell her. Yeah.
Well, I haven't really had anything happen in front of me besides this one time. Mm-hmm. I was working at Sherwood, the golf course.
Yep.
And we both figure that place is haunted. I
Yes.
mean, it's really old land and there's a lot of history there. So, it's up for speculation. So I was in the pro shop at the golf course all by myself, sitting in the office at my desk, typing away at my computer. And I felt like there was somebody watching me. And I had taken a piece of paper from the printer and I let it like drop to the ground to see if anything was going to mess with the way it fell. And it just kind of like slowly swooped. And I'm like, okay, I'm fine. I don't feel like if there was going to be something in here. I was young at the time too. I didn't know all the stuff that I know now. And so I sat back down at my desk. And then all of a sudden the cup that I had all of my pens and pencils in moved across the desk in front of me. And I was like, oh no, that didn't just happen. And I run out of the pro shop and I go to the parking lot, and everybody that would have parked their car in the parking lot was out golfing. There was no one around. And I'm like, leave me alone. And I stood out there in the parking lot for, 25, 30 minutes until I cooled myself down enough to go back in there and be like, you're fine. This didn't actually just happen. This is all a figment of your imagination. But it was pretty crazy.
That would be a little messed up in front of your face.
Right in front of my face.
All right. Moving on to pets. Making contact. If your pet has been gravitating towards a certain area of your home or exhibiting reactions to what remains unseen, well, chances are they're detecting a paranormal entity. Animals can pick up on sounds, smells, and sights that aren't detectable to humans. Further, dogs are also known to foresee imminent tsunamis, tornadoes, and other natural phenomena. So it's no surprise that your pet can also feel the presence of a ghost. If you're not a pet owner but are curious to try this technique, ask if a friend can bring over their cat or dog. Note how they interact with the unfamiliar space. What are they investigating? Where are they drawn? Where are they avoiding? And if the animal seems to be reacting, for better or for worse, your suspicions may be confirmed. You, my friend, are living in a haunted house.
Oh, great. Jen, what's your theory on this one?
Well, I think, as we know, based on my previous story that I've shared once or twice now, I didn't think I had an issue in my house until I got a dog. And then I realized that I did have an issue because not only is he a psychopath, no, I'm just kidding. would wake me up every night when he was a very small puppy, even till until you and me had saged and cleansed the house. He would bark and growl, and not like an aggressive growl with his hair standing up, at the end of my bed, staring at like one corner of my bedroom, which obviously is super creepy. And then he would do it also downstairs in my living room if I was laying on the couch at the corner of the wall that's directly below where the same spot is in my bedroom. So that happened for months and months and months until you and me decided that we were going to sage the shit out of my house.
We did. We did that, yeah.
We did.
And that's when the lights were flickering too.
Right. So I got rid of the dog part with the barking and the growling and switched it for the now playing with the lights.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Beggars can't
at least
be
I can
choosers.
sleep through that. So I'd rather that
True.
than the dog growling. So
True. So I don't think it was really anything, but when my cat Dexter was a kitten, he was standing at the top of the stairs and he slowly crept around the side of like the wall by the stairs so I could just see his face. And then he got like that startled look and kind of like jumped a little bit forward, like, what is that? And then he was looking past me. I thought he was looking at me, but he was looking past me. And then he like slowly crept down the stairs and he stopped and he like jolted again and like just was fixated on this spot behind me.
weird.
And then I remember saying to him, Dexter, stop. You're freaking me the hell out. You need to stop. And he didn't stop. He went on for like 5 minutes staring at something that was supposedly behind me. And I'm like, oh, he's just a crazy cat. But I don't know. It's up for speculation.
Dexter's pretty cool. He's
He
a
is.
pretty cool cat, so
He's
I don't
got-
think he would let you down there. In that.
Got tons of personality, that guy. He thinks he's a dog. I'm sure all you guys are wondering, how exactly would a spirit enter your house? Well, they can't reside anywhere, but there are some traditional beliefs that a spirit enters and leaves through the chimney.
Oh.
Through experience and research, I've read that if they want to enter a house, they will enter wherever they wish to, and they don't always exit the same way.
Can I just interject to say that now that we're talking about this, that is the chimney.
That's Santa Claus.
But that's where Lucius was growling.
I know.
Is it Santa or is it the people that lived in the house?
I don't know.
God damn it.
It's crazy to think about, though, isn't it?
Yeah, that is weird. I've never heard that before. Carry on.
I mean, it's a traditional belief, so generations upon generations have speculated that they come through a chimney.
So Santa's a ghost. That's it. We figured it out.
So ghosts don't necessarily confine themselves to one area, although if they feel comfortable in a particular area, this is where most of the activity will be felt, such as extremely cold spots and feelings of being touched and so on. For example, there was an active spirit in the house across from me a couple of houses ago, and the sounds that this spirit was making seemed to come from the toys in the basement and the toys in other surrounding homes' basements, and it was making their toys go off on their own while playing with them.
Creepy.
Yeah, you're welcome. Sleep tight.
Oh, great. What should I do if I think my house is haunted? Well, I've had this experience already, but I would suggest keeping a diary of events to see if there's a pattern occurring of unexplained activity.
That's a good call.
Yes. Think about when the strange going on started and if something had happened around that time that could attribute to the activity. For example, did someone play with a Ouija board? I mean, I did.
You did.
I didn't in that house.
No,
Did you stay in a haunted house or castle or visit an old graveyard?
we visited
Damn
old
it, we're
graveyards.
screwed.
We're definitely screwed.
If your home is indeed haunted, this will not go away of its own accord. It may get worse. Try calling a reputable medium with spirit rescue experience to see what they feel or sense and give you advice. If there is a spirit stuck in the home, they will attend with another medium or two, in case one of them is overshadowed by the spirit, and communication with the spirit, hopefully sending it to the light. You could also get crystals for protection, which is something that I actually do have a few, but I don't think I
do
ever
too.
really read into each of them. So fluorite stabilizes and protects the aura, deflects electromagnetic smog and stress, and also helps to create and keep healthy boundaries.
And it's really pretty. It's turquoise and purple. Like, who doesn't want that anyway?
No, I know. It is really pretty. Hematite Helps strengthen your aura, repels negative vibrations, and also calms emotions.
I feel like you need that one.
Yes.
Not that you're like emotional or crazy or anything. I just feel like
I need to calm my emotions.
I'm thinking more of the repelling negative vibrations, but whatever.
Smoky quartz transmutes negative energy and detoxifies any environment, including the body.
Great.
Amethyst to help you feel calm, enhance your spiritual practice, and offer psychic protection.
Yes, great.
Black tourmaline will help keep negative energies away and protect you from absorbing them.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Don't you have some of that? I know you have a black crystal.
I do actually, now that you say that, and I think it is upstairs in my room now.
Perfect. Good spot for it.
So I'm trying to cover that.
Yeah. Okay. Another thing you can do is burn a white candle. You can also visualize a white light energy. I've done this many times. So you visualize covering yourself in a white light, your house in a white light. This may also help encourage positivity. I know sometimes I don't like necessarily driving a lot at dark. Mm-hmm. So I will visualize my whole vehicle in a white light.
Oh.
And it will get me home safely.
Okay.
Call me crazy, but you can also burn sage. So we're talking about energy clearing. So if you do this with sage, you banish negativity and really bring home the good vibes. There's science behind the spirituality too. When burned, sage smoke releases ions that change the composition of the air and have been linked to positive mood boosts. In addition to being an excellent stress reliever, burning sage can also be a powerful spiritual ritual and self-care practice. Side note, the first time I ever smudged the house, it drove out my husband. He had such a bad migraine. And he's like, I can't even eat here. I have to go get Chinese food. He didn't even ask me what I wanted at the Chinese food restaurant. He was so mad that I did it. And then I started like Googling stuff because I was like, why did he leave? Why does he have a headache from this? This doesn't make sense. To me, this smells really good. And everything that it came across was like, if somebody gets a migraine or they have to leave immediately, they are the negative energy.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Burning sage is a powerful ritual. The ritual of sage burning has its roots in Native American tradition. Today, people burn sage and other holy herbs to cleanse a space or environment of negative energy, to generate wisdom and clarity, and to promote healing. Intention is everything with this ritual. So before you light up, ask yourself what you're trying to purify and or heal from or release in the space and in yourself.
Sage and mugwort and cedar, oh my. White sage is a fairly common variety used for space clearing, but you can also use bundles of cedar or herbs like mugwort. Whatever material you choose, it's really about intention. So ideally, look for a source that harvests its herbs ethically and responsibly to enhance your practice. Smudging is the correct term and is the ritualistic burning of herbs and plants in a shell or clay bowl while prayers of gratitude and well-being are said out loud. The smoke is then traditionally fanned using the hand or a feather. I have an eagle's feather. And directed over a person or throughout a living space. The purpose is to wash away impurities and sadness, anxieties, dark thoughts, and any unwanted energies or emotions that may be clinging to a space or a certain individual. This is often done before a ceremony or special gathering, or after an argument to literally clear the air, when moving into a new home, at the end of cold season to reinvigorate one's living space, and a variety of other occasions. And when you're doing this, we're talking about opening up closet doors, spaces underneath the stairs, crawl spaces, or even in an attic if you believe you have something lurking or hiding from you. When I have smudged my last home, I don't know why. I just really felt like it needed it. I opened up every door in the house and got into every corner of it because it made me feel a lot more comfortable.
Yeah, you covered it all.
I did. There's much subtlety to this practice, and its potency reveals itself in the experience as you work with it. It's important to understand the deep symbolism that underlies each of the objects used in a typical smudge. There are centuries of wisdom woven into this process. First and foremost, the materials involved each symbolize and honor one of the four elements, a central theme in many Native American rites. The symbolism behind these quote-unquote ingredients are as follows. Jen, I'll let you do this.
The shell or clay bowl represents water. The herbs and resins represent the earth. The feather and wind it creates represent air, and the flame used to ignite the herbs represent fire.
I love it.
Yeah. So, guys, we sincerely hope you're not haunted. And we hope that if you think you might be, that we have given you some tips on how to feel more comfortable in your space.
Yeah. And I think after covering all of those, you and I are haunted.
Yeah. I think we've just really established that we, definitely should have read these beforehand and we would have figured that out a lot quicker. But yeah.
Maybe before we even started a podcast.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hauntings 101.
With K and J.
Yeah. Professor Jen and what do you call
Sassy sagers over here.
Yeah, we're a couple of sassy sagers, which I feel like we should probably do. We haven't smudged in a long time.
I haven't either, so I need to do that as well.
Yeah. All right. Well, if you guys want to find us on social media, Jen, where can people find us?
We are on Insta, Booze and Bourbon. We are on Facebook, Booze and Bourbon the podcast. And we are obviously also on, do we have Twitter? No.
Yeah, we do, but I never updated it.
Okay, well, we'll scratch that one. But we also enjoy you guys emailing us and sending us any stories that you have for our listener episodes. And, if based on this episode that you feel like you might need to reach out and ask us some questions and or get some of our, great Sassy Sagers expertise.
Sassy Sagers. I think we should do a new Instagram account.
Yeah, it's our new one. So you can email us and, we will get back to you as soon as possible when we're done saging all of our other spaces.
Oh my God. Okay. And so if this is your first time tuning in and you have not heard our craziness before, you can find us on a multitude of podcast platforms. You can find us everywhere from YouTube to Spotify, Apple, iTunes, which is known as Apple Podcasts here in Canada, Google Play, Stitcher. Yeah, there's a bunch of them. So you guys can find us on there. And we also are on Patreon. So we're www.patreon.com/booze and bourbon. And you will find a whole bunch of really fun sort of behind the scenes stuff. You'll find some videos and some recipes and some articles. It's just a fun spot. And there are 2 tiers. They start at $5. We give you a shout out on every show.
Yeah.
So we're going to start out here with the shout outs. We have the ABV Network. We have Stephanie McNew. We have Rebecca Bolton. We have Aaron Hamilton. We have Aaron B. We have Cindy Bussey. We have Andy Greer.
The Ghost Story guys.
The Ghost. How could I have forgotten them? They're our favorite paranormal podcast, and they're also Canadian, and they're basically our twins on the coast.
Yes.
The other coast.
We love you guys.
We're twinning. Anyway.
Love you, B. It's me.
Hey. All right. So cheers, everyone. Thank you so much for listening today. Patreon supporters, thank you so much. You guys help with the show getting better and better. And we get to bring you really cool content because we're always doing different videos. So everyone, Feliz Navidad and happy holidays.
Signing off from the Sassy Sagers. You guys have a great day. Cheers and happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Booze and Bourbon is part of the ABV network. For more information or to advertise on the show, please head over to abvnetwork.com. Thanks for listening and cheers.
This has been a Steve Akeley production.